This is James Mathers for the Digital Cinema Society at NAB 2024. I'm here with my friend Matt Frazer with Panasonic Lumix division. He's going to tell us about a new product they have. What's this camera?
Yeah, so this is the S5 II. So we launched S5 II and the S5 IIX about a year or so ago. But what we've done is we've introduced a completely new firmware update for both. Firmware 2.0 for the S5 IIX, firmware 3.0 for the S5 II, that effectively gives you a brand new camera for no additional charge. So that's what we've been doing with this. So the things we've added to the camera, on the video side in particular, number one, we have radically improved the image stabilization system. So we have this interesting crop option that will recorrect the peripheral distortion of wide-angle lenses so that it's incredibly still when you use wide-angle lenses and you run around with it. And then there's a high crop that you can literally run with the camera and it's like you're on a gimbal. So it looks amazing. I know everybody says this stuff looks like a gimbal, but in our case, I think people will be extremely impressed with it. We've also completely refreshed the autofocus system. You know, autofocus has become a popular tool now for filmmakers, especially when they're doing run and gun work. The autofocus system was a first for us going to this phase autofocus design. So we've refreshed and re-enhanced it. We've added the ability to detect things like animals' eyes, and we can detect cars and motorcycles. But we've totally reprofiled the way it detects humans so that it is not so quick to switch to other people when people walk into frames. So it's extremely sticky now on the camera. We've also added a proxy function, so you can do proxy files into the camera. So you have access to, 1080, 10-bit proxy files in both. Sorry, it's H.265. We have a high and a medium, and then there's also a 720p option if you need a really, really small file. The reason we added proxy is because we've also partnered with Frame.io, and we've incorporated the camera to cloud suite of functions. So we have sort of a different take on where camera to cloud is probably going to go. When it was first pitched, it was like, get your takes up in the cloud quick, get your client to give you thumbs up, thumbs down, and then also, you can start your editor on the process quicker. And when you look at the workflows they were proposing, you already had a DIT and you had a data wrangler, so you didn't really need that. But for people who have like small social media teams where you're covering maybe multiple events at one time, you're gonna have one central editor, and you gotta get that content up today. A 1080 proxy is more than good enough for TikTok and Instagram, so you can support the video and photos out of this directly to camera to cloud and get very fast turnarounds. And for wedding videographers, I think it's going to be a boon to them because they'll be able to offer their clients like a sizzle reel of their wedding. By the time they get to the honeymoon suite, they've already got a 90-second sizzle reel that they can go ahead and post to their social before they get that final properly edited video.
We're using camera to cloud right now. And we own a Lumix. We haven't been able to use it, so that's really good news for us.
Well, guess what? If S5 II, you're going to be able to do that right for free. It's just a firmware update on the camera. So
love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's pretty much everything we're going to be doing with it. That firmware will be available on the 21st, about 6 p.m. in the United States. So 22nd in certain parts of the world, right? So to Japan, it'll be the 22nd. But we're showing it in the booth now here at NAB.
So what are the recording formats you can do on camera now?
In terms of the video, just standard video for codecs, so we can do 6K open gate, so that's full sensor height, full sensor width. We have a 5.9K 16:9 or 17:9, cinema 4K aspect ratio. We can do 4K 60 to Super 35 region, and then obviously all the 1080 options. In terms of codecs, it really depends on the camera because the S5 IIX is more video centric. When you go to the X, you're going to have access to higher bitrate MOV files that are all intra, and then if you want to use an external SSD, we can give you even 4K ProRes or even 5.9K ProRes files as well. So if you want, deliverables that Post aren't going to whine about, you can go ahead and deliver in ProRes, and they're going to be very happy with that when they get those files in.
That's a lot of choices. Thank you very much, Matt.
That was the goal. Thank you very much, James. Always good to see you.